Welcome back to Jersey Matters. During the pandemic, there's been a lot of media coverage about public school teachers, and not all of it has been good. And one of the problems has been that people talk all around the teachers. They talk to union leaders and politicians and superintendents. At Jersey Matters, we decided to change that and talk directly to the teachers. Here's Tasana Ronner, teacher at Williamstown High School. We've been talking about teachers so much, and it seems like everybody in the country is talking about teachers during the pandemic. So we thought it was nice to finally talk to a teacher to find out how you're doing. Have you noticed that everybody's been talking about teachers without talking to them?
Yeah. It seems very, very much like everybody wants to talk about us and what we should be doing, and nobody discusses how schools actually work and talk to the people who are running the schools.
So let's start with where you work and what your high school is doing right now.
I work at Williamstown High School in Gloucester County, and right now we're hybrid, and in next week we'll be bringing back even more kids for the 4-day a week. We're going to combine our cohorts since we're down to the yellow level.
Tasana, how are you feeling? How are other teachers feeling about the way you're being covered on the news?
I get frustrated with teachers in the news or what people are saying about teachers in the news, because we are also parents and we get stuck with this whole narrative of, well, teachers don't want to go to work. Teachers want to keep the schools closed. That's not true. But just like everybody else who has to go to work, if our schools are closed, you probably just saw one of my children run past me. If our schools are closed in the districts we live in or the districts we work in, we also can't go. It's the same problem. It's just that we also teach in the schools. And so it's frustrating because the coverage kind of hints that teachers aren't people and parents and part of the community. It like separates us from that line. And yeah. I don't really enjoy that because obviously we're a part of the community. We obviously care about the kids, otherwise we wouldn't teach at all. And but we also have our own families, and that puts us in kind of a sticky situation.
Right. Have you been vaccinated yet?
I was able to get my first one, but only because I have some underlying issues.
Would you be more comfortable going back when you get your second one?
I'm sure I would be. I'm sure I will be. I'm sure I will be. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Like, it's the point of a vaccine.
I ask you that question because I've talked to the head of the teachers union in the state, and she said, I said, well, March 15th, teachers are going to start to get vaccinated. Once they get vaccinated, should they be back in the classroom? She said, not necessarily.
Not necessarily, because that doesn't mean teachers can't shed the virus. You can still get it. You can still share it. I can't imagine what it would do to me if I got the virus, gave it to a kid, and God forbid it killed one of their family members. Like that would not go well for me.
Let me wrap this up by asking you what you would like to say to people about teachers during the pandemic. What is your message?
We have not stopped working. We have been working more than I think people realize. Being a first-year teacher is really hard. You have to make all brand new stuff from scratch. Being a remote teacher, even after 10 years of teaching, was the same. Everything I have, everything I've used, every lab I've used, I've had to find an alternative, completely remake into a virtual setting. I've had to purchase multiple resources with my own money to make it work, because I want to give the kids the best education I can, even in a remote setting. I want people to know that teachers are working. We're trying very hard to do the best we can within the constraints we have. Often teachers' unions get a lot more credit for the power they have than they actually do, especially like at the local union size, but we're doing the best we can. And I think the more teachers that get vaccinated, the sooner, the better people will feel about being in the buildings and the easier it will be to open up more schools for hybrid or even for like all day.
Williamstown High School teacher Tosana Ronner. In the weeks to come, we'll talk to more public school teachers. Still to come on Jersey Matters.
I'm Phil Andrews, and coming up on Jersey Matters, we'll tell you how two of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies and rivals will team together to mass produce the third COVID-19 vaccine.